Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Angela Carpio and I'm a full-time real estate professional at Coldwell Banker ABR. This is the third part of a docu-series where we follow Jovi and Leanne Polito on their journey to home ownership. In this video, we are going to talk about selecting properties. After they got approved, when we finally have that number from the lender, that monthly payment that they would be comfortable making every month, only then did we start looking at homes. Based on that amount and the criteria that they told me during the buyer consultation, I then set them up on the MLS. The MLS stands for Multiple Listing Service that most realtors use to advertise their listing. I do that because I want to make sure that they do not miss out on any homes. Now I say most because sometimes broker will retain listing not made available on the MLS, but instead seller has instructed them to try and sell the home via his private network. That makes it a pocket listing. Why a seller would do that is for another video. That is why it's very important that you work with a realtor who's developed a good relationship within the real estate community. For example, I had an agent reach out to me as soon as their pocket listing is signed and asked me if I have any buyers that might be interested in her pocket listing. Although I didn't have a buyer for her at the time, if I had one, it would have been an advantage for my buyer. Also, as an agent, I familiarize myself with new construction homes in the area because I want to make sure that my clients do not miss out on anything. In Jovi and Leanne's case, they decided against it because they didn't want to pay high Mello-Roos. In the state of California, you pay a base 1% property tax rate. A Mello-Roos is a special tax assessment that is created to finance infrastructures and services on top of the 1% that you are already paying. The special assessment tax only applies to the residents of the districts that benefits from the project. The highest that I've seen is 2.25. Some clients care about property taxes, some don't. In Jovi and Leanne's case, they don't want to pay high Mello-Roos tax. To make sure that they do not miss out on anything, I also address the for sale by owners listings. For sale by owners listings are properties that the home sellers themselves decided to sell themselves and not work with an agent. With regards to Jovi and Leanne Polito, there really isn't any for sale by owner listings that fit their criteria, so we didn't have to look at those. I also brought up foreclosures and short sales, but Jovi and Leanne Polito just didn't want to have to go through that process. And again, I do this because I want to make sure that they do not miss out on any homes. Now, back to the MLS. With that, they are able to like, favorite, or comment on a house that they like, and it sends me a notification. I can then do my research on those homes, bring up things or items that might be a cause of concern for them. For example, if during the buyer consultation, a client tells me that a fireplace is an absolute must-have, right? If that house doesn't have that, then I bring that up and say, hey, this house doesn't have this. You told me that this is a deal breaker. Do you still want to proceed with that house? The main thing with Jovi and Leanne is the taxes. They don't mind fixing little things because Jovi is pretty handy, but they don't want to fix things that would require a huge amount of money. To be clear, I don't just set them up on the MLS and leave all the homes searching all for themselves. I also go through the list, and if there is a house that I think checks their boxes, then I send those over to them and see if it's something they might like. As we go through the process of elimination, the goal was to find a top 3 home that works for them. It was a rolling top 3 that if they find another house that they like better than the ones on their top 3 favorites, they then could substitute that for one of the homes. Why top 3, you ask? Because chances are, if it's your top 3, it's another buyer's top 3, and you don't want to waste your time looking at homes that doesn't work for you anyway, because then you could miss out on these homes that do work for you. After the fifth home, buyers usually don't remember the first home that they look at. So when I'm out showing properties, it's usually between 3 to 5 properties. If I'm showing more than 3 properties, I then ask the clients to pick their top 3, to rank the houses that we look at and pick their top 3. I then reach out to their loan officer, and in this case, it's Haley Farnham of PRMG, and ask her to send the clients the estimated monthly payment for each of the homes that we are looking at. I also print out the property tax profile, especially if it has a special assessment. Haley and I wanted to be as transparent as possible, and also having these documents, these informations, Jovi and Leanne Polito are able to make an informed decision. Story time. It didn't happen to me. It happened to a colleague of mine where she's representing the seller. They accepted an offer, and a week before close of escrow, the buyer backed out because of the special assessment. They didn't know that the special assessment was high, and the agent didn't inform them of that. They have to do their due diligence anyway, so anything that they see or they discover during the course of prior to close of escrow, they're within the contingency period, they're able to back out of the contract. But this is why I do this. This is why I pull out the property tax profile and have the client look at it so that there's no surprises. Because by then, you know, the buyer could have done a home inspection that would have costed about $500, $400 to $500. They probably would have done appraisal, which is another $500. So they would have been in a hole $1,000, only to find out that they're not going to be able to move forward because they didn't like the taxes. So I want to spare you that hurt and that surprise, because that is not a good surprise. But yeah, this is why I do what I do, to make sure that before you make an offer, you have all the information in front of you. That way I don't waste your time, I don't waste your money, I don't waste the seller's time, I don't waste the listing agent's time. Once they've identified their top 3 favorite, maybe top 5, I then do a CMA, which is a comparative market analysis, showing the sold properties in the area so that the buyers can have a feel for the value of the property. Again, this is an information that you can use to make an informed decision. So when I advise that, hey, you know, you should go in at full price, or you should probably go a little over the asking price. If I can get you a deal, I'll get you a deal. But I want to make sure that I'm honest with you. But at the same time, I want to make sure that when I advise you on what number to offer, that I didn't just pull it out of thin air, that I have these data that you can use so that you can make an informed decision. The goal is to make sure that you do not pay too much on a property. Then lastly, once Joey and Leanne was able to make a decision on which homes they wanted to look at, I then scheduled the showing at a date that my clients are available and the seller is available to show the property. And that's it. If you notice in this process, I address the buyer's top 2 fears, which is the fear of missing out on a home and also the fear of paying too much. As a real estate professional, this is how I show that I do have your best interest at heart. I do this because I want you to feel at ease with this process. I want you to be able to make an informed decision, and also I want you to be able to refer your family and friends to me in the future. And that's it for this video. Comment if you have any questions. Subscribe to get notification of the next videos that I will be doing, and consider liking and sharing it to anyone who are in the process of purchasing their own home. And again, if you or someone you know is looking to own, sell, or invest in real estate in Riverside and San Diego County, give me a call, 619-228-5034. Have a great day. Bye.